So, a lot of people dogging Snoop out. And I think it's messed up. I don't think they should be dogging him out the way they're dogging him out.
Okay.
So,
This sounds like a hot take.
And maybe.
All right, let's hot take it.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage then. It's time for another hot take brought to you by the handcrafted brews at Throttlehaus Coffee and Tea.
Order yours at throttlehauscoffee.com. That's throttle, H-A-U-S, coffee.com.
All right, so I guess this is a hot take brought to you by Throttlehaus Coffees and Teas.
Throttlehaus Coffees and Teas.
Go get you some at throttlehauscoffee.com.
And that's house spelled H-A-U-S.
That is correct. So, I guess, you want to call it a hot take. So this is the beef I have with it.
Right.
Everyone constantly talks about, and it's especially a men thing, right?
Yeah.
They talk about men not expressing themselves, being real, being, vulnerable, talking about how they feel about a subject, talking about, whatever, just being brutally honest, right?
Right.
In a situation that makes them uncomfortable. I feel, and maybe I read it wrong, could be, but I feel when Snoop said, I'm watching this movie and, there's two lesbians in the movie and then there's a baby, this, and my grandkids start asking me how, what, when, why, and where, and he didn't want to deal with it and all that stuff. I didn't take it like it was homophobic.
Right.
I took it like Snoop was literally saying, I'm in this situation that's very uncomfortable for me.
Right.
I have my grandkids, not my kids, my grandkids. That means they have parents. Their parents may have some sort of agenda, parenting, whatever, when these situations come up, how they want to explain it to their kids. It's their kids, right?
Yeah.
He's the grandfather. He's still a role model. He's still a parenting figure in their lives.
Right.
But sometimes, that's not your place, right? So now you're in this awkward moment of you're getting questioned about this stuff. You don't really know how to answer it. And you're not even sure if you should answer it because you may say something that differs from what their parents want to say. So
I can see that.
I feel like he was saying, having it in a movie in that kind of fashion, especially a children's movie, it thrusts a conversation upon some people who aren't ready to have such conversation at that very moment. And one of those situations being a grandfather in a movie with their grandkids and being thrust into that conversation unexpectedly, unprepared, and it's not their kids. It's not necessarily their place to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it as him being like, oh, gay people, blah, 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 blah. I took it as this whole thing happened so, unexpectedly and all this other stuff. And then my kids are questioning it, or my grandkids are questioning it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to handle the situation because of all of those factors.
Right. No.
And he did come out saying look, teach me, show me how I could do better in that situation, because it wasn't him saying, I don't like gay people, or I don't like lesbian people, or I don't like this.
He just didn't know how to respond.
He just didn't know how to respond in that situation. So he was being honest and vulnerable, as far as I'm concerned, by speaking his feelings.
Yeah.
And then he gets dogged out. And this is why I feel like a lot of men bottle stuff up, hold stuff in, and then it turns into, various mental issues later down the line.
Yeah.
You're holding in these feelings, you're holding in certain things. I feel like he just spoke on how he felt in the moment. He was honest, and people basically shot him down for being honest.
Took it the wrong way. No, I get that.
So
I could see that. I could see that perspective, and that does, from a human standpoint, that makes sense. I could see that. Him as a grandfather, you're watching this movie, you're not expecting that. You're not expecting to see that, and then it happens, and then your grandkid got questions, and you don't know how to answer the question. Let's just keep watching the movie. We can talk about it later.
Right.
Totally understandable.
Right.
And something getting caught off guard. It's easy for me to sit here and be like, oh, he could have just told his kid that the baby was adopted.
Right.
It's easy to say that not being in the moment. When you're caught in that moment, you have no idea what to say. I could understand that, but at the same time, I won't go as far to say it was a homophobic statement or vibe or anything like that. But at a minimum, I do feel like it was kind of tone deaf.
I get that,
and
I
that's
get
that's.
but I feel like that also comes from Snoop being Snoop.
No,
Snoop
100%.
Snoop has never been one to hold back what he wants to say. So, the way he said it, it might have came off sounding a little bit, aggressive, I guess, if you want to call it like that, like blunt.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it was something that was meant in a inflammatory or derogatory way.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean,
but I get
in
that.
the climate that we are, like we gotta. It's different. This ain't the '80s, Same sex relationships in the '80s, in the '70s, in the '60s were something that you couldn't do openly in public without some backlash.
Right.
And especially in the black community, there is a sense of homophobia, for a lack of a better way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of anti-gay propaganda and stereotypes and perspectives that people have in the black community.
Right.
So, tying all these factors in together, I could see how somebody could receive this as being homophobic.
Right. No,
Like I don't want my
I
don't want my grandkids seeing this. Like, why are they pushing an agenda? It's like, okay, you're telling me that there are no same-sex parents in your kids' schools?
Right.
Like, there's got to be at least one. Your kid has to know somebody whose parents are the same sex. It's either 2 men, 2 women, 2 trans, 2 non-binaries, whatever it is. Like, we're living in an age where these people are living out in the open.
100%.
And they should be allowed to be. And just like with everybody else, everybody wants representation,
Yeah, I get it. I think that it just came out as, Snoop is he's always been like that. That's why we love watching him commentate sports, right?
No, 100%.
He's very like, what he sees is what he says is what you get. And so he saw something, he said something, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
And I don't think but I don't know. I just took it as him being just like, dang.
No,
like,
he was
I'm
caught off guard.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching this. This happens, and then my grandkids are saying this, and it's like you said. It's like, yeah, there's an easy out. You can say, oh, they're adopted, da 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 da. But the way the grandkids, based on what he said, the way the grandkids formulated the question about it being, how can 2 girls and whatever. Like, I get it. He was caught off guard
because he doesn't know how to answer the question.
He doesn't really know how to, which is why he's come out since and saying, teach me more. Like, teach me more how to handle, how to understand. But at the same time, again, like, he's not their parents. So even if he did give them an explanation, what if it was not necessarily on the lines of how the parents wanted to have that conversation, right? It puts him in a weird space with them. And
then the response is ask your parents.
Right. So, yeah. And so, but again,
in the moment, you
so
freeze.
I don't know. So yeah, you can call this a hot take. You can call it me defending homophobia if you want. I don't think I'm defending homophobia.
I don't even think it's a defense. It's just
I just think that
it's a different perspective.
I just feel like you got to let people express themselves like so society wants. That's where it's the give and take in society right now. You have the all mental health issues. People have to talk about things and they have to express things and then when they do it, they get dogged out.
Right.
And for other reasons, right? And it's like you got to know the climate. You got to know this. I get that too. But there has to be a balance somewhere. Because
there does. And I mean, we're in still in this phase of cancel culture where the second somebody says something you don't agree with, we need to cancel them, and they're a bigot and they're racist and they're homophobic and yada 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 yada, all that other stuff. So there is a sense of the receiver who needs to take a step back and have a little more grace and understand that not everybody knows everything that's going on.
Right.
If you're not in a space where there's a lot of activity of, the gay community, the lesbian community, or support or anything like that, then you may not know how to respond to these situations. And I feel like, like you said, that's really where he was coming from. He's like, caught me off guard. My grandson is asking these questions. I don't know how to answer it.
Right. And hence why now he's saying, like, teach me, like, show me how I could, handle these situations better. Like, he wants that.
And instead of people jumping to conclusions, people could have come in and had a more compassionate response. Like, hey, Snoop, well, if that happens again, you could say X, A, B, or C.
Yeah.
Or if you're
I went to the end of the alphabet.
And I started at the beginning. That's funny. Or if you're concerned about what your grandkid may see in the movie or anybody that you're with may see in the movie, watch the movie first.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case now, I guess you got to screen.
You got to screen the movies before. But I mean,
you wouldn't. Excuse me. You wouldn't expect to screen a kid's movie. I think
you shouldn't. But at the same time, but again, it's not like it was anything extreme. I mean, let's not forget, this is also the man that told us it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Right.
So it's okay for, multiple sexual partners,
but again, that
same sex.
That was 30 some odd years ago. He's grown.
Times have changed, yes.
So no, and like I said, it's. I just think that like let him have his conversation.
Yeah.
The way he has his conversation, and then when he talks about it, and he's being vulnerable and that sort of like not understanding. Accept that that he, it's not a homophobic thing. It's just a lack of understanding thing.
Yeah.
That's all.
We need to get to a place of help instead of condemnation. So, you don't understand? Well, here, let me help you out. But then people are so objective, and not everybody across the board, but there is a lot of objection to other people's opinions and other people's help.
Right.
Because if you don't agree with what it is that I'm saying, there's a lot of times you might not even be interested in what I have to say.
30 billion people on the planet. They're not all going to be on your side.
Yeah.
So,
but even if they don't agree, that doesn't mean that they're your mortal enemies now.
Right.
Like you should still be able to have a disagreement without resorting to name calling.
Right.
Or trash talking.
Right.
Like, this dude, you're a racist because you think A, B, and C. It's like, well, I'm not, but then there's nothing that I can say that could change your opinion of that.
Right.
And that right there is, I think, where the problem lies. Like there needs to be a little bit of openness to where we can receive somebody else's opinion without our opinion overshadowing their opinion. Have
the conversation.
Right. Without the attacks.
Yeah. So, well, that was our It was a hot take brought to you by Throttlehaus Coffees and Teas.
Throttlehaus Coffees and Teas.
Get yours at throttlehauscoffees.com.
House spelled Haus.
Can you reach that?